Alright, so after the mess that happened in chapter 1, I've been thinking a lot about how this could affect the future chapters, and so I want to say who I think are most likely to die in chapter 2. Anyways, let's head on to the video. First of all, I would like to explain something. Whenever a character dies, it normally affects different characters. But this impact is always one of two options. It's either that the person mourning would grow or regress, and possibly make it further until the character and their story are fully established. For example, is Wada, who lost Isuna, then Suno, and had to endure it all until chapter 5. Well, the other option is that the character mourning dies immediately in the following chapter, just like Watari, who died after Okazaki. In my opinion, most likely it's the first option. Since it's still chapter 2, Tetro Blue isn't yet done setting things up, and there are still a lot of characters who are in the background, and so simply because of that, I really think that Ogura, Yukoi, and Ikeda are safe next chapter, since their character arc is still starting. Either another person they're close to dies to solidify their guilt, or the people they're with are there to help them be stronger. I'm also not basing it just on that, but also on the vibes they're giving. And so I sort of think that Ninamiya is safe. He still hasn't done much, and I feel like it would be a great change of pace for Yokoi if the person she's with is at least there for her. Her troubles of wanting to guide everyone but not be a leader could spiral if she's alone. And so as long as Ninamiya is there for her, she can stay rational. Anyways, I'm just going to start saying who I think is most unsafe. The trio is definitely unsafe. We all know how the last trio went, and two out of three of them died in chapter 2. I doubt two of them will die, but at least one of them could. Originally, I thought Nishiguchi could die in chapter 1 because of her knowing Seki, which was a death flag. But now that she made it past chapter 1, I doubt that she'd just die immediately. Out of the three of them, the most at risk is definitely Yaitabashi. Hear me out. If chapter 2 is still starting to set more things up, then killing Yaitabashi is the best option to break the trio. Yaitabashi is basically the glue that's keeping Komada and Nishiguchi together, and without him, Komada and Nishiguchi don't have much chemistry. If he dies, then that gives more chances for Nishiguchi to talk to more people outside of their trio. It would also make sense for Yaitabashi to die because of the amount of screen time he got in chapter 1. Now that everyone knows that he's partially blind, it paints him as an easy target. I also have some hope that Komada makes it far because of how much she reminds me of Hirobaki, but more friendly and has fewer morals. She seems like a complex character, and it wouldn't make sense to waste her this early. Just like Ikeda and Yukoi, I can see their character being more explored in future chapters. For other characters that I see are somewhat at risk are probably Sukigata, Hirose, and Tei. Alright, I'll start with Tay. Honestly, I don't really have much basis for why he could be at risk, but just the fact that he has had a lot of screen time defending Ikeda and him dying could change things up in him. Also, the fact that people now know that he's somewhat blind could paint him as an easy target. But aside from that, I don't really have a strong opinion on how he could be at risk. Now, let's move on to Hirose. As the certified doctor in the class, he's basically the hope that they have. It makes sense for him to be a target considering how Ono already locked him up to not check the body. It would make sense if someone just silenced him so that they wouldn't have a doctor to check the bodies. Just like the reason why Kamimura died, Hirose could die and not check the bodies, especially if the culprit's plan is to poison the victim. Then no one would know. Also, since they're still setting things up, it would heavily affect Denden and cause her to be the doctor they all need. Just like that episode called Dr. Denden, she'd be the permanent one to take care of them. While for Sukigata, considering how Ogura just lost Akiba, if Sukigata dies, then it could cause her to start a revolution using her computer skills to work with Maikawa and try to find an exit. If Sukigata dies, then it would affect both Ogura and Ninamiya. Him dying would also make sense, since if he's a culprit, then he already has the motivation. He has had a fair amount of screen time already, since his secret was outed, and so it would sort of make sense. As for who the culprit and the victim could be, they'd probably parallel each other, since in chapter 1, Akiba died without seeing his parents again, who left him, while Ono is a mother who killed so that she could take care of her child. If this persists, then the chapter 2 victims and culprit will probably have a connection one way or another. For the other characters, I don't really have many ideas, but I can't really see them dying this early, you know? Like Ninamiya, Isuda, Meikawa, and Shishikura. I don't have many strong opinions about them, and I do see them dying possibly, but at the same time, other people are more likely. Shishikura or Maikawa could, but regarding Ninamiya or Isuda, they are definitely not dying yet. Anyways, that's who I think are most at risk in chapter 2. If you have other thoughts, then feel free to comment them down in the comment section down below. Once again, I'm Aris, and if you want to watch more videos like this, then feel free to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss the next one.